Yeah, and for people who think this might be some strange fantasy, I mean, right now, the Fed is printing money and they're buying anything in sight, including corporate debt, right? So they're buying up, corporations, and basically the state is owning a lot of that debt. And if they continue, like you said, pretty soon it becomes feudal where the state or this top level of people own everything. And now all of your dollar savings are worth nothing and you're sheltered at home. And it's exactly what you're describing, right, Max?
Right. So the Federal Reserve now owns 1/3 of America's GDP by buying bonds, stocks, junk bonds, ETFs, and all this other stuff. So they're printing money for free, and then they buy the assets. So on Wall Street you would call this a leveraged buyout, right? So a leveraged buyout is you borrow against the assets of the company you want to acquire, then you acquire it, then you sell it all off, and then you end up owning those assets for virtually nothing. So here, the central bank is printing money for free and using it to buy all of these income-producing assets. They're going to buy all the property. They're going to buy all the utilities. They're going to buy all of the biggest corporations. In Japan, the central bank owns 100% of GDP worth of assets. They're already at 100%. So I think the U.S. will equal Japan in this sense. So if they bought $6 trillion worth of these assets over the past, they're up to $6 trillion now. So to get to 100%, they have another 16, 17 trillion dollars of purchases to go. And I fully expect that to happen. The debt in the U.S. Was at, I think, 24 trillion now. Expect that to go to 50 trillion. And the global GDP, debt to GDP, is close to 300% debt to GDP. So you're talking hundreds of trillions of dollars globally. And that's all managed by a few people in the central bank who manage everything like the Vatican would manage the Catholic Church going back into medieval times. This is the new papacy. And this is the new medieval model. We're heading back. The whole idea of liberalism, of the Renaissance, of free markets and everything that we enjoy, that's a pretty new idea. It's only a couple hundred years old, really, 250 years old. And it was kind of a blip on the historical timeline. If you look at the broader picture of the last 2,000 years, we've been living more like slaves for 2,000 years than we have in the last couple of hundred years. And now I think we're going back to the way we were living before.